Do you know your blood type? Every human on this planet has AB, or O blood types. And within these types, you either have Rh negative or Rh positive blood. Example, O positive, O negative, A positive, A negative, and so on. The Rh or rhesus factor refers to a specific antigen in the blood. If your blood lacks the Rh antigen, you're Rh negative. If your blood has the antigen, you're Rh positive. In the study of genetics, you'll find that you can only inherit what your ancestors had, except in the case of mutation. Therefore, if man and ape had evolved from a common ancestor, the blood would have evolved the same way. All other earthly primates also have this Rh factor. So if all mankind evolved from the same ancestor, the blood should be compatible. Stay with me now. If we are all evolved from the same ancestor, we will all have the same blood, but we don't. Rh positive blood can be traced back to the rhesus monkey and all other primates, but Rh negative blood cannot. In fact, it cannot be traced back to anywhere else in nature. Another strange thing is when a mother is Rh negative and the father is Rh positive, the baby can inherit the Rh factor from the father, making their offspring Rh positive as well. And if this happens, the Rh negative mother might abort the baby. Why? For the same reasons you can't mate a mule with a mule to create another mule, or breed a pair of ligers to produce another liger. All animals and other living creatures known to man can breed with any other of their species. Size and color makes no difference, but you cannot breed two mixed species together. If you do, you get something called hemolytic disease. This is the same allergic reaction that occurs when a Rh negative mother is carrying an Rh positive child. Her blood builds up antibodies to destroy an alien substance, the same way it would a virus, thereby destroying the infant. This fact alone points to the distinct possibility of crossbreeding between two similar but genetically different species. Thing is, hardly anyone has tried to explain where the Rh negative people came from. Most people familiar with blood factors assume that these people are a mutation, if not descendants from another ancestor. But if Rh negatives are a mutation, then what exactly caused the mutation? The Basque people of Spain and France have the highest percentage of Rh negative blood. About 30% of them have Rh negative blood, and about 60% of them carry one Rh negative gene. Also, the Rh negative blood is very rare among most African peoples. The Basque people have a language unlike any other European language, and as of yet, the origin of the Basques is unknown. Do you know your blood type? Part 2. Nearly 85% of all human beings have Rh positive blood, which indicates that their red blood cells contain a substance called the rhesus blood factor. Simply put, the positive blood contains a protein that can be linked to the rhesus monkey and all other primates. It is acknowledged that blood factors are transmitted with more exactitude than any other animal or human characteristic. It's not generally known from where the negative Rh factor originated, although evidence exists that says it arises from genetic experimentation a little over 5,000 years ago. Blood type O is the most common of the blood groups. When you separate the O types into negative and positive, you'll find that O negative, which is the universal donor blood, constitutes less than 7% of the world's population. Science at this very time is attempting to create a synthetic Rh negative O blood, but without success. Mainly because while the protein in positive blood can be cloned, that of negative blood cannot, which is quite interesting and may be indicative of an alien origin, or more probable, from early genetic experimentations from previous ancient advanced human civilizations. These negative blooded people spread heavily into the area of what is now Spain, England, Ireland, France, and later into America, Canada, and Australia. Basque peoples contain the largest concentration of known O negative blooded people today because they, for the most part, have confined themselves to one area, whereas the Celtic people have branched out among all of the New World. Researchers discovered that Welsh and Irish people with Celtic roots are genetic blood brothers of Spanish Basques, and they all share strikingly similar gene patterns that are passed down the male line, which is strikingly different from the mitochondrial Eve gene, which the child inherits from the mother. Unfortunately, viewpoints about Rh negative blood attracts far nastier swords too. Forever on the lookout for some minor genetic distinction between ethnicities to bolster their worldview, certain white supremacists are tickled a melanin deficient pink about the fact that about 15% of people of European descent would tend to be Rh negative, while it's less common in Africans and Asians. So predictably, you'll see assertions that Rh negatives have a higher IQ, psychic powers, and even an extra vertebrae. Stray far enough into the muck and you'll find proof that Jesus was Scandinavian with AB negative blood. Back here in reality, you'll find that Rh negative subjects reported to have more frequent allergic, digestive, heart, hematological, immunity, mental health, and neurological problems. On the flip side of things, in places with a lot of toxoplasma, having Rh negative blood may be advantageous. Rh negative people may also be immune to other parasites and viruses, some of which may not be discovered yet. For example, patients with type O and Rh negative 2 blood groups may have a lower risk of severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2 infection, and severe coronavirus disease 2019 illness. If you enjoyed this video, double tap the screen and don't forget to follow.